Welcome back to the latest edition of the Truth and Wisdom Podcast, where we dive into real life and seek God's wisdom on those topics.
Well, hi, Mr. Lyle. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
I am very excited about this opportunity. I was asked, the day that I contacted you, if you want to do this, Greg came in my office and said, hey, do you mind recording a podcast next week? And you can ask whoever you want. And it took me 10 seconds to think, man, I think Mr. Lyle would make a great guest on this.
I'm not sure that makes me comfortable.
Hey, there are obviously all the kids in our church know who you are and they love all the things you do, especially whenever you get to come in. Like when we do a one service or one family service Sunday and you do the kids lesson at the beginning, obviously all the kids like it, but everybody my age are big fans of Mr. Lyle, as in you kind of have a little bit of a following, amongst people my age.
Well, even some of the older ones come up to me and tell me, I really wish I could come down front too.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So, but before we get started, obviously a lot, I don't know what the ratio is of those that watch on YouTube versus those that watch just audibly. But for those of you that are watching audibly, I am currently wearing a, what are these called? A sports coat or a suit coat, something like that.
Close enough.
Yep. I got all dressed up for Mr. Lyle because, and here's why, okay? I do not ever really dress like this, but I have an award to give to you, to present to you, and I've never presented an award. I don't think Justin's ever presented an award on here. So here's the award for those that would like to see. It says, First Baptist Church, Russellville, Arkansas, greatest mustache of all time goes to Mr. Lyle Ratzliff. Signed by me and also by Justin Myrick. And then there is an inspirational paragraph here for you to read on your own time. There you go.
What an honor. Thank you.
Just for you.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely. But in all seriousness, as we get into this, so I started working here in 2018-ish or so, and then I think it was 2018, and then kind of quickly got into working under Brandon for a little while. And then one of the first times that I got introduced to you was when we did that dinner, that Christmas dinner.
Oh,
with
yes,
the kids.
The banquet.
Yeah, explain to the people that don't know, what is that?
Every 2 years, because I'm teaching 6th and 7th grade together, we do a silly banquet.
Okay.
Which is basically the kids show up and we have a menu of 16 items, and the description on the items is about like ordering off of a French menu written in French.
Yes.
You have no idea what your item is, and you get all 16 items listed down. You decide which course you're going to have each one.
Yeah.
It's a 4-course meal. And what we casually forget to tell them is that the silverware is on the menu.
Oh, I didn't remember that part. Okay, yeah.
Yes, so they might be eating mashed potatoes and gravy and ice cream and cake with a knife.
Oh.
You never know.
Oh, my goodness.
We've seen some kids get the knife, the fork, the spoon, and a toothpick in their first course.
Oh.
And that means they're eating the rest of the meal with their fingers.
I feel like, if I remember correctly, one of the plates that I got that night was like chicken fingers and like marshmallow spread, and then like there was something chocolate involved in it too.
Yeah, there's all kinds of things on the menu.
Yeah,
all kinds of things on the menu, and then we have a program afterwards. Which is very, very silly.
A very silly program, of which I got a pie in the face. Or something.
That's right. You may have been one of the fortunate few that have been pied.
Yep. Yeah, my wife was in on it with you. And yep, I'll never forget that. But what I saw in all of this was that you have these, how old are kids in State Center? 10, 11, 12, 13, around that age, I would assume, right? Every one of those kids were just enamored, and your ability to keep their attention is impressive.
Well, it's if you're going to try to teach that age group, you've got to have something that will keep their attention
Sure.
and help them remember it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very impressive. I kind of want to get back into, what it is you do right here in First Baptist Church, your heart behind it, and kind of challenging some the listeners how we need more Mr. Lyles. But before we get there, Mr. Lyle, you can get as long-winded as you want in this answer, but when did you come to know the Lord Jesus?
In third grade.
Third grade. What's the story behind that? Tell us where you grew up.
I grew up
and all
in,
this.
I grew up in central Kansas,
Okay.
and we attended a small little church town next to where I grew up. And as far back as I can recall in my family, we are church related.
Okay.
As far back as you can go. All my uncles and aunts went to church. My parents, we went to church. It was just a very church-related family. And in third grade, I remember sitting in a Sunday school class, and a little old lady, I cannot remember her name, I wish I could, but I can't, explained to me the basics of the gospel, of my sin problem, and how I needed a Savior. And if I wanted to go to heaven, I needed to have a relationship with God, with Jesus. And I sat in that room and prayed just a little prayer in my heart. And that was the day my life changed.
Yeah. Yeah. So third grade.
Third grade.
All right. And then at some point in time, you grew up from the third grade and you met your wife. Tell everybody your wife's name.
My wife's name is Jeanette.
When did y'all get married?
1976.
1976. Okay. And when y'all were still living in Kansas at that time, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. And then what year did y'all move to Russellville?
I think about the year after that,
year after that?
1977. Yeah.
And did you start your business then, or what were you doing when you got?
Yes.
You did. Okay. Tell everybody what is it that Mr. Lyle does?
Well, in real life, I do woodwork.
Yes, but hold on. Let me preface this. He does do woodwork. I guess by definition, but he does. I don't want to say magic, but it's incredibly impressive. I mean, it is. For those of you that are listening that come to church here at First Baptist, correct me if I'm wrong, the pulpit that Greg stands behind every Sunday, you built that, correct?
That's correct.
If you have not had a chance, walk up there and just look at it, kind of walk around it, and just look at all the little details of how it's impressive. But yeah, your work. Tell everybody else. Sorry, keep going. You can tell us everything you do.
We moved to Russellville, and I needed a job. And so I started a little cabinet shop, woodworking shop. And my goal, I never had a business class in my life. I know you're supposed to have a business, I guess a motto or whatever you want to call it. I think there's a technical term for it, but
Okay.
I never had one.
Yeah.
My thought was I never want to have to say to a customer, we cannot build that.
Oh wow.
I wanted to always be able to say, yes, we can do that. And so we bought bigger equipment than most, even though it was used.
Yeah.
We've got a few more things than most people have, and it's allowed us to do some upscale things.
Sure. Yeah. Before we get too off on the weeds here, what's the coolest thing you've ever gotten the opportunity to build? If you could say, man, this is number one on your list.
That's a tough one.
Yeah?
I have always wanted, and this may be odd, I've always wanted a wooden globe.
A wooden globe?
A world map, a wooden globe.
Okay.
I've always wanted to make one.
Okay.
And I finally have the equipment to do that and the time.
Yeah.
And we made my son and I together, we made a wooden globe. It's 18 inches in diameter. It's got all the continents on it. It's got all the stuff made completely of different types of wood.
Are you serious?
And it may be one of the most intricate and most bizarre things I've ever built, but I really enjoyed doing it because it was something I always wanted.
Do you have pictures of this thing?
I do.
when we are done here, I would love to see pictures of this. Is it at your shop or at your house? Or
It's at our house.
Oh, my goodness, Mr. Lyle.
You can actually see it on our website, the business website.
What's the business website?
ratslifcabinets.com.
Okay, ratslifcabinets.com. My goodness.
Very original.
Okay, well, let's get back to the life story here before we get into a couple more. So you moved to Russellville, started your business. When did you and your wife and family start coming to church here at First Baptist? Right away, or was it?
It was a little time after that.
Okay.
Some time after that. We both grew up in small church.
Okay.
A small a small setting, and we're very comfortable with that.
Sure.
And as time went on, kids came along. We maybe got a little more selfish than we should have, but we wanted more for our kids than what a small church sometimes has the ability to put forward.
Okay.
And we did a little research and found this church, that it was doing the youth ministry very well. And that's what brought us here to First Baptist.
So what I hear you saying is it the church's ability to disciple your children?
It was an important factor.
I'm realizing that just kind of in the role I get to be in here, where I'm around a lot of young couples starting families. It's almost as if, and I witnessed this too, like in my life, my wife and I, we have a 3-year-old little girl, and then about to have a little boy. Something happens whenever you start having kids. It's almost like life is no longer nonchalant.
Oh, it changes.
Oh my goodness, does it change? So yeah, so y'all came over here. Then, how long did it take you to begin teaching or find yourself like?
Just a matter of months.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
What was the first place you started teaching at? What grade,
Awana.
age? Awana?
3rd through 6th.
Third through
I
sixth
did
grade.
Bible lessons in Awana.
Okay.
Each Wednesday evening.
Was it one group, 3rd through 6th graders?
They actually divided up into 2 groups, 3rd and 4th, and then 5th and 6th.
Okay. All right. What whenever you start to teach children and you see the different ages, what's the difference in your experience? What's the difference between the different age ranges on how you need to go about teaching them? Does that make sense?
There's very little difference.
Why is that?
Because what I've discovered is young kids have a remarkable ability to understand things.
Okay.
Now, of course, I'm not going to be discussing systematic theology with a 3rd grader.
Yeah.
But I am going to bring a topic like atonement.
Yeah.
Or imputation of the righteousness of Christ down to their level.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, if it's brought to their level, they can understand it.
Yeah. So what I hear you saying is, and I think it'd be the same with adults, is that there's no reason to lower the bar. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If anything,
exactly.
you elevate people to a certain level of learning or whatever the case may be, or even expectation, and we'd be surprised that even kids, how high they can go. Does that make sense?
I've seen too many people teach to the dumbest kid in the class.
Okay.
And I don't buy that.
Yeah.
I teach to the smartest kid in the class.
I'm assuming because that elevates everyone in the room.
That brings everybody up.
Yeah. I wonder,
in
too,
my opinion.
Have you noticed this, too, especially with teaching children the Bible, that by doing that, by teaching at a certain level to draw, elevate kids, whatever, it keeps their attention more because it's more challenging. Does that make
It's
sense?
something many of them have never heard before.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things to do is to take a kindergarten or 1st grade Sunday school story and tell it to them the way the Bible actually presents it.
Give me an example of
without all the fluff. Without
Yeah, give me an example.
David and Goliath.
Yes. Okay. Tell me about it.
We've got that kindergarten version of David doing what he did, defeating the giant. But when you start looking at it from what it actually says in the Bible, you discover a David, a 16-year-old kid, running at that giant he hasn't even loaded his sling yet. He doesn't put the rock in the sling until he gets down the road a ways.
Yeah.
And, just little details like that make the story, to me, interesting, but it gives you insight into what was going through David's mind.
Yeah.
You don't run at someone without loading your gun first.
Yeah. I hear you.
To use that analogy. And David did.
Yeah. So let's chase this rabbit just for a second. I've had this, Greg's been going through 1st and 2nd Samuel for the last year or two. So it's been neat. All the little details, like this past Sunday, how he connected that one of David's top counselors who's starting to plot with Absalom to try to take over the throne was Bathsheba's grandfather. Like, I never would have connected those. Little things like that are just really making the Bible come to life in these accounts of the life of David.
Exactly.
But something that really convicted me about this story with David and Goliath. So that's 1 Samuel 17. 1 Samuel 16, the prophet Samuel comes to David and anoints him as king, as the next king of Israel. Right? So then you go to 1 Samuel 17 when he goes and visits his brother, and he sees this Philistine blaspheming the God of Israel, saying obscene things and challenging the nation of Israel. Well, in David's mind, why is he not scared? Well, God's already told me I'm going to be king, therefore I'm not going to die, but I'm also going to be king of Israel, therefore we're not going to lose. So trust and obey the promises of God, and let's go. You know, and get to thinking to myself, how many promises of God do we have that were already fulfilled in Christ, but then the ones that Christ gave us with regards to how we live now in the church age, that if we would just listen and obey those things, then sure, we would be as fearless as David is. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And
another thing that you can add to that story that is a visual that the kids may not have had yet is it a physical representation of just how tall Goliath was.
What's that?
9'6".
What's the physical? Like, that's a basketball goal, or almost to the rim.
Yeah, I've built a statue of Goliath using boxes.
Yeah,
12-inch by 12-inch boxes.
Yeah,
and you just keep stacking and stacking and stacking, building a cardboard creature. But it gives them a first-hand view of just how monstrous that man was.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yes. So that's going to lead me into my next question. You're talking about building the out of blocks, these examples for the kids. What I have come to really love and respect about you is it seems that you put in a lot of time and effort for every lesson. Even the for the Sunday where we have the one family service in big church, but then it's every week you're teaching Sunday morning. It's 6th and 7th grade, correct?
Yes, 6th and 7th grade, and also on Wednesday nights.
And then Wednesday nights. So the amount of time and effort that you put into not only just to teach a lesson, but the things that come with it. Speak on that just like what's the...
Some of the props are very time-consuming to build. They may look simple.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of them have a lot of physics involved with them.
Yeah.
And there's some testing. That has to happen.
Sure.
Sometimes it's a difficult thing of just rounding up the items you need.
Yeah.
Like just recently, I did an object lesson where we dumped literally almost 1,000 ping pong balls on top of me on stage.
You did.
Finding that many ping pong balls at a reasonable price was a bit of a challenge.
Sure.
And cleaning up afterwards was a bigger challenge.
That was awesome. That could not have worked out any better. Yeah. But what I see in the effect that you have had in our church and in this effort that you put in is the amount of lives that you've affected in all of that. Okay. And if I was to not know who you are, I would just think, Mr. Lyle, he's just a normal guy, owns his business and works hard, and now what's your grandpa name?
Grandpa.
Your grandpa?
Yeah.
And everybody's got those fancy grandpa names. He's a grandpa. That's who he is. No, if I didn't know any better, I wouldn't know that you put forth this effort and this time to genuinely love and disciple these kids of our church. And so the challenge is like, how many men in our church have these skills and these abilities that that either they're one of the challenges that I could see happening with somebody in my stage of life is, I just don't have the time. I don't have the time to put forth to give this much of myself to my local church. What would you say to that?
You cannot outgive God. And what I've seen in my life is if I feel I need to put the time in, I do it. And God takes care of it.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen more than once.
Yeah.
Where I thought, I really don't have the time, I don't have the money or whatever to do this. But I go ahead and do it. And things still work out.
Yeah.
I can't explain how that happens other than I know it's the hand of God. And I've learned not to worry about time.
Yeah. And so there's another side of it too. So you've put forth the time and effort. Have you not gotten to the point where it's like, man, I put forth all this time and all this effort, man, I need a break? The longevity of the things that you've done, how have you sustained it?
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
If you enjoy what you do, why not do it?
Yeah.
People go fishing because they enjoy fishing.
Yes.
Do they ever get tired of it? I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I enjoy doing what I do.
Yeah.
And why not? Why not do it?
One thing that I see that's different than, somebody's hobby is that the things that you have chosen to give your time and your effort to, they have like an eternal investment. Does it make sense?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think you look back on your life at the end and think, man, I wish I didn't spend all that much money building Goliath replicas to teach the first graders how big Goliath was. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
But I wonder if there are certain men, if they look back on life, man, I spent a lot of time and money and effort away from my family playing golf or fishing or hunting or whatever. All fun activities that that are fun to do, but they may look back and think, man, who did I actually affect by doing these things? Have you ever had that thought in your mind of like, where you've had a tension where I really want to go this direction and do this hobby or go this way with my business or whatever, but it's going to take away from my ability to continue to minister and serve?
I don't know that I've ever had to make that choice. I think every time that I've needed to do something in church, doing my job, as it were,
sure,
I have the time.
Yeah.
And I'm not worried about doing something else or trying to work something else in. And I've always had this philosophy of making sure that family came first. And beyond that, I don't need to be entertained with a lot of stuff. There's bigger things in life than just being entertained.
I hear you, yes, sir.
We're only here for a short while. Do you realize how quickly my 69 years have gone by? It's incredibly fast. And I don't want to waste. I don't want to waste any minute of it.
Yeah. What would you consider wasting? What's, by your definition, man, this time is wasted time?
Doing something with no eternal value.
Yeah.
We're only here for a short while. A very short while.
Yeah.
And when we're gone, very few people beyond the people that we know today are going to remember us.
That's true.
But what we do and the lives we affect is the only thing that's going to outlive us.
That's convicting right there. Very convicting. And here's another direction I want to go. Is this past summer you came and you spoke to our young adult families. Every summer we do 3 to 4 week Sunday night potluck where all our life groups come together and we all spend time with one another. And I wanted you to come and speak to us. And I think my question was it 3 or 5 things? If you could go back and tell your 30-year-old self something, what are the 5 things or the 3 things you would tell?
Something like that.
And you came up with, this is the one thing that I would tell. Please tell everyone, what's the one thing that you would tell?
Time. is a big thing. You and I are living on this earth. We've got time.
Mm-hmm.
It's the most important thing you have at your disposal.
Mm-hmm.
And you have free rein to use it as you want. Use it wisely.
I believe you said something that one of the things that we will answer for is how we chose to use our time.
Oh, yes.
And
Yeah.
and I think we get, especially people my stage of life, start having kids, but it seems like everybody, late 20s, early 30s, mid 30s, even getting close to touching 40, you kind of get into the really start making headway in your career. Does that make sense? Start actually making money. And,
Oh, yeah.
And we get behind this thought of like, I'm going to be really convicted by how I choose spending my money, or I got to be very wise on how I protect it, or whatever the case may be. And it's not that I was surprised that you said time, but maybe I just never thought that the main thing that we are irresponsible with is how we choose to spend our time. And one of the convicting sides of that was and I'm not a big social media guy. I personally don't even like posting. I don't want my kids' pictures put on the internet. I'm kind of like that. But I got to thinking, man, how much time do I spend, especially during football season, do I spend watching college football? Or how much time do I spend reading this article about who the Razorbacks going to hire as the next football coach? And like, I can get emotionally worked up over who it's going to be. And there's these 5 guys that are listed, and I can spend 30 minutes reading this article and be like, well, I don't really. But that's 30 minutes of things that really I have no control over, you know?
Sure.
And I remember leaving, that evening and thinking to myself, like, I talked with no less than 10 guys probably the next 2 or 3 weeks. They were like, yeah, man, I deleted social media off my phone, or my wife and I, we chose to, take this off our TV, so we're not watching this show or this amount of time. Whatever the case may be, I just find myself constantly thinking, I have this little girl, about to have a little boy, like how fast their life is going by. I might start crying if you think about it too much, but you said 69 years, and you said how fast it went. I don't think we realize how fast it goes by and how quickly time passes, because we're stuck doing things that make no impact on life.
Time is relative. And what I mean by that is the older you get, the faster it moves.
I would 100% agree. Do you think it's because, so think about it, when you were like 7 and school starts, and you're like, the school day felt forever long, but I've only experienced 7 years. And so the amount of time that day it's a larger percent of my whole lifespan. But at 30, a whole day is a smaller percent of my whole lifespan. Therefore, it seems shorter, or it seems quicker.
Yeah, that may be, but it just goes by very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
It does. So now as we kind of get 69, and you said earlier, you're actually going to start telling people you're 21 degrees Celsius, so you're not actually 69, you're still 21. What is, kind of as you enter into, let's say, the last, 50 years of your life, because you said this summer you're going to live till you're 120, so, you got 50 more years to go. What are some goals for you moving forward, like in this stage of your life?
I would love to keep doing what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy teaching kids.
Mm-hmm.
Before we came to this church, I taught adults.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, man, that's the pinnacle of the pyramid.
Okay.
You can't get any better than that. That's the important place in life.
Okay.
And when we came here and I started seeing the issues that our young kids are dealing with, and all, I realized I can make a far bigger impact dealing with young people than I could ever do with an adult.
Yeah.
Because adults are set in their ways. We're stubborn. We've already been there. We know what we're doing. We think we do anyway. Kids are malleable.
Yeah.
And if you can change the direction of a kid's life, now at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
I tell people that every child I saw lose in life,
Mm-hmm.
and I use that term very generally. Every person I ever saw lose in life, they started that direction in 5th and 6th grade.
Really?
That's where I saw them make the initial turn towards that failure. Now you can always salvage a kid later on, but those young people are making more choices, more decisions, more changes in their life than what many of us adults want to admit to, and what we're aware of. Man. They are going through so much. Mm-hmm. When you look at the national numbers that are put out, the average young person's first sexual experience right now, nationwide, they consider 13 years old.
Okay.
That's shocking.
Mm-hmm.
And that tells me that the society that we're living in is in drastic moral decay.
Mm-hmm.
And our young kids are facing that every day without the experience that an adult has.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really really a concern for me, that you would have that kind of, we feel comfortable putting our kids into that environment.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not comfortable with that at all.
Yeah.
And so I would love to continue doing what I do.
Okay.
If I can keep making a difference in a child's life.
Well, I'm going to tell you the same thing I tell Dusty, our youth pastor. You're allowed to retire after my kids are through going through your ministry. You can retire then. Justin and Dusty, y'all can retire later.
I've been doing this 26 years now,
mm-hmm.
and I have always had at least one staff member's child in my class.
Okay. Well, hey, you got to stick around. So
yeah.
Our daughter turns 3 in a couple weeks. So 6th grade is 12. So you got 9 years.
Okay.
You can lock in for 9 more years. And then we have another one coming after that. So you'll have to wait, 12 there. So,
I'll try.
We'll sign you an extension,
okay.
in your contract. But anyways, Mr. Lyle, one more thing. For those of us listening that are young parents, what's your number one piece of advice for young parents?
Protect your children's innocence as long as you can.
Okay.
Because the world is not.
Yes, sir. Deal. Well, Mr. Lyle, thank you very, very much.
I appreciate you having me. I enjoyed it.
Yes, sir. Hopefully this podcast is still going after my kids are through your ministry, and we'll come back on the podcast, and I'll give you a certificate as like for your retirement, because like I said, you're not allowed to retire till after they're done. Okay, we made that deal, and we'll do it again.
Okay, sounds good.
Yes, sir.